All right, Sampson Lewkowicz here with after a great fight between Ramon Cardenas and Naoya Inoue. Sampson, did you feel like you had it early after the knockdown? Did you feel like the upset was on? And what did you think of the fight?
Now, look, first of all, Cinco de Mayo is in Las Vegas, not in New York, and not South, on Saudi. That is the bone of the boxing is in Las Vegas. And now Cinco de Mayo, it was in Las Vegas. Regardless that horrible weekend, that regardless the millions of dollars that you can put to a fighter, doesn't do what he's supposed to do and think about not tomorrow, about today or that night that it was to give him something to the fans. This weekend it was a horrible, but Las Vegas, it was spectacular. Not only with Ramon, if not with Divino.
Divino Espinosa.
So Mexico say presente. Viva Mexico.
Why do you think those fights were so bad? What was it that led to that? Why do you think we got such poor performances Friday and Saturday?
You cannot buy good fight with money only. You need to be hunger. That if you lose, you go backwards. When you have so many millions, he doesn't give a shit if it's tomorrow because it's safe. And this is what happened. Money doesn't make a good fight, and I hope so. People understand that the good fight is when you hunger for more, that you want to do the best of you to get the next one. And this what happened when you overpay the fighters. You overpay the fighter, you see that kind of shit it was, the dancing wolf.
Well, let me ask you, because there was a lot of news about what happened with Benavidez and Bivol. Bivol relinquished the WBC. Sampson, there's a lot of people who are trying to say, you guys did that on purpose. You knew he'd vacate. You didn't really want to fight Bivol. You've heard these things, haven't you? And
no.
What's your response to that?
The money sometimes buy a fight that nobody wanted. And with all respect to Mr. Alalshikh, he gave me so much money that is safe for life. So if he do good, he doesn't get hurt, doesn't fight. Go give him 10% to Canelo and you see he will fight. You give him 10% to anyone, he will fight anyway. So he overpay and he's safe for life. So every time you go into Saudi Arabia, you have a lot of money and people, boxer, think might have. No pantalones like the Mexicans. And by the way, he was no Mexican in Saudi because he was shameful. Because the Cuban, he did the Cuban school, but he's supposed to take a risk, Canelo. He didn't take a risk. And I'm sorry. I can tell you that it will never happen Benavidez, not because he didn't fight anybody, because most likely he will retire. And I'm telling you that September, if this happens, which I don't believe that Alalshikh will pay on that fight the whole amount because doesn't deserve either one. He deserves much less because it was a boring fight. I believe that Crawford will beat Canelo and his finish of the face of boxing. The face of boxing will be Divino. That it can be the face of boxing. It can be the face of boxing in Mexico. Benavidez, that he fought whoever doesn't want to, that Canelo, he didn't want to fight, Benavidez fought. So, money doesn't buy good fight.
But a lot of the fans were saying the way that it played out with Bivol and Benavidez, the purse bid, they're saying that you guys knew he wasn't going to fight, and so you just wanted a vacant belt. You didn't. In other words, they thought you guys were bluffing, really wanting to fight Bivol.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
The winner of this fight will want it.
Better be a Bivol
100%.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas, it's the real fights. You see the people how screaming and all that. That is boxing. It's not only the ring. It's what happened outside of the ring. You go to Arabia Saudita, to Saudi, you go over there and it's silent. Nobody screams beside my friend Turki Alalshikh that is going crazy because he see a shitty fight. And with that heart. So you cannot buy the heart of the fighter with money because he loses the heart. Canelo lost the heart. The Cuban is Cuban, the school of Cuban, that he was shameful. But you will never ever see him again in any national TV or any major TV. This guy.
Skull.
Yeah, Scull. That's it. So.
But Sampson, a lot of people would say, better be a Bivol. Whoever wins, they're the champion. So you have to fight. If the champion wants to fight,
the belt will be available for any one of the winner of September, October, whatever. The ball will be available. So it means he cannot run away. You can run, but you cannot fight. We won the 3 belts. The next one after this fight, and unify again the 4th title. This is the reason that we did it. We won the title, like this he can force him to fight, because if we continue be the interim champ, he will never fight. You know why? Because he will get knocked out, both of them.
What if the winner of the fight says, no, I want the fight where I want it in Saudi?
No, Saudi it cannot happen.
Okay.
Because you don't have the people like you have in Vegas. Let's do it next May, because by next May, Mayo, the next Cinco de Mayo of next year, we will, PBC, it will put this same scenario, T-Mobile, and we'll fight the winner next Cinco de Mayo. Now you have a festivity. We don't want it. Canelo is anymore, he's a retired boxer now. He cannot face Benavidez because he can get hurt. That is the reason that he didn't want to fight before, because he can get hurt. And this is a fact.
Who's Benavidez likely to fight in September?
In September, we will fight the best available contender, and then we wait for the Cinco de Mayo, and I asked to Turki Alalshikh, let's do it together, Cinco de Mayo in Las Vegas.
Okay.
PBC and Turkish Alalshikh.
Co-promotion.
Inshallah. Salam alaikum.
I got to ask you before you get out of here, Sampson. The Zayas, after you guys said you weren't going to vacate the title, but you wind up vacating the title. How do you explain that?
Remember, I promised that the rematch with Tim Tszyu.
Yes.
It was request. I didn't do the negotiation. Luis Tequila Jr. He said, "You want Tim Tszyu? This ready?" I said, "This is the fight that we won." And this is the fight that we promised and we deliver.
But is that? What if the fans say that's technically a duck by Fundora? He ducked.
No.
Okay.
That it was a fight. Who you want to fight? Zayas or Tim Tszyu, the rematch? Everybody, it can be a pay-per-view. It will be a pay-per-view, but it will not be with silence, with science.
I like the Zayas fight better, Sampson. I think a lot of people feel
this
the
is
same
your
way.
opinion,
Yes.
but it could happen.
Yeah.
Let him win the title, and then we fight too. Let him win the title. You see, there's nothing to be afraid. But this time it'll be better for him, because if we win and we go, maybe we go 50-50. No 75-25. He's not afraid. It's whatever is right for the Fundora family. And that's it.
Thanks for your time, Sampson.
Thank you.